Once upon a time, in a kingdom blanketed by whispering pine forests and crystalline streams, there lived a girl whose beauty was as pure as fresh winter snow. Her name was Snow White. With skin as pale as snow, lips as red as roses, and hair as black as midnight, she was loved by everyone except her stepmother, the queen. The queen possessed a magical mirror and asked it each day, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" The mirror always answered, "You, my queen." But one morning, the mirror replied, "Snow White is the fairest of them all." Jealousy burned inside the queen like fire. She ordered a huntsman to take Snow White into the forest and end her life. But the huntsman, kind at heart, could not harm the innocent girl. He begged her to run far away where the queen could never find her. Snow White fled deep into the forest, frightened but determined to survive. After hours of wandering, she found a small cottage hidden among towering trees. Curious, she stepped inside and saw tiny furniture, tiny dishes, and 7 tiny beds. Tired and hungry, she cleaned the place, ate a little bread, and finally fell asleep across the 7 small beds. When night arrived, the owners returned, 7 dwarfs who worked in a nearby diamond mine. Their names were Doc, Grumpy, Happy, Sleepy, Bashful, Sneezy, and Dopey. Surprised to see a girl sleeping in their home, they gently woke her. Snow White told them everything, the jealous queen, the huntsman, and her escape. The dwarfs felt sympathy for her and offered her a place to stay. Snow White agreed, grateful for their kindness. Meanwhile, the queen discovered that Snow White was still alive. Furious, she transformed herself into an old peddler woman and brewed a poisonous potion. With it, she prepared a shiny red apple that carried a deadly curse. She traveled to the dwarfs' cottage and found Snow White alone, for the dwarfs had gone to work. The queen, disguised, offered Snow White the apple, praising its sweetness. Innocent and trusting, Snow White took a bite. Immediately she collapsed, falling into a deep, death-like sleep. The queen fled, believing she had finally succeeded. When the dwarfs returned and found Snow White unconscious, they were heartbroken. No matter what they tried, she did not wake. Believing her gone forever, they placed her carefully in a glass coffin among the forest flowers, where her beauty remained untouched by time. Days passed, and one afternoon, a prince riding through the woods discovered the coffin. He had once met Snow White and loved her kindness and gentle spirit. Heartbroken to see her like this, he knelt beside her and gently lifted her hand, whispering a farewell. As he did, the cursed piece of apple dislodged from her throat. Snow White gasped softly, opening her eyes as if waking from a dream. The dwarfs rejoiced, dancing around her in disbelief. Snow White thanked the prince, who asked her to come with him to his kingdom. She agreed, but promised to visit her 7 friends often. As for the queen, when she asked her mirror again who was the fairest, the mirror answered, "Snow White, who lives happily ever after." Enraged by the truth, the queen's power faded, and she was never seen again. Snow White and the prince married in a grand celebration, and the 7 dwarfs sat proudly in the front row, cheering louder than anyone. Together, they all lived in peace and happiness, proving that kindness, friendship, and courage can overcome even the darkest jealousy.